Okay, this is summer review number 6, and these were the piecewise functions. Try to do them in colors here so you can see what's going on, so this should be easy to go over. This was number 1, f of x, 2 if x is less than or equal to 3, so there's 2. We have a dot at 3. These are all units. Hope that's understood. These are kind of small to write them in. And then negative 1, so this is below, 1 unit below the x-axis. Well, these have got to be marked, sorry about that. Okay, so 1 below the x-axis. Is that all right? That's where y is negative 1, and it's open here because it's greater than 3. So when I'm greater than 3, I'm negative 1, so that should be pretty straightforward. Letter B, f of x equals x, so that's the diagonal line. If x is less than or equal to 1, so x being less than or equal to 1, I've got the diagonal line. And then when x is greater than 1, y is equal to 1. So that should have been easy to do. And letter C, f of x equals 2x minus 1. Now, 2x minus 1, if I use my slope-intercept, the intercept is negative 1, and my slope is 2, which would be over 1, up 2, or back 1, down 2. So I get some points in there, and there's the line. And that's when x is less than or equal to 2, 1, 2, so I have a dot there. And then when it's greater than 2, I have a circle, and then y equals 2. Okay, so hopefully those are pretty straightforward. So that's summer assignment 6, number 1, A, B, and C. And let's take a look at number 2. All right, so here's number 2. Oops, sorry, this down so you can see it. Okay, and this is number 2. And I just labeled the line, so you've got your sheet in front of you, I hope, so you can see this. It was 1/2 x, and I used 0.5 just so it's easier to fit. So it's 1/2 x minus 2 if x is less than or equal to negative 2, less than or equal, so I have a dot there. I'm sorry, just less than, so it was going to be open. So my intercept was negative 2. So if I put my intercept here, negative 2, 1, 2, and then I have a slope of 1/2, that means I'm going to go up 1 over 2 or down 1 over 2. So that's actually where my point was. It would continue right down here, but we don't really see that because we're only going to be less than 2. So this is this line. If I continued it, it would go right through here. So that's my negative 2. And then I don't go at 0, I go at negative 2. So I'm going to go down 1, back 2. Negative 1 over negative 2 is negative 1/2. So we can see the line. And that's for x is less than 2. So it's open there at negative 2. So for x less than negative 2, this is what I have. And then for x greater than or equal to 2, I've got the line x minus 1. So x minus 1 is just a diagonal line, except it's shifted down 1, negative 1. And then I go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, I draw that line. And that's actually at 2, so there's a dot there, so that would be orange there. Doesn't matter because it's connected, but I would fill that in. Okay? So there's 1/2 x minus 2 and x minus 1, and they connect. And we talked about continuity. The first one is definitely discontinuous. We have a jump discontinuity, so the first one is discontinuous. The second one they connect, so that's continuous. In other words, I can draw all the way through. C, discontinuous, because I got a jump discontinuity. I got a jump here, so this is discontinuous. So we have discontinuous, continuous, discontinuous. 2a was continuous. All right? Okay, so 2b, this was x squared, and then minus x plus 2. So x squared when x is less than or equal to 1. So here's less than or equal to 1, so it's going to be filled right here. So it's just going to be the parabola, so I will just draw my parabola. Y equals x squared, over 1, up 1, over, back 1, up 1, back 2, up 4, over 1, up 1, and that's going to be filled in there. And then for x greater than 1, it's the line negative x plus 2, so my intercept would be 2. I'd go up 2, and my slope is negative, so I go down 1 over 1. That's where I'm going to start my line, because it's going to be greater than or equal to 1. And you see they connect, so this is a continuous function. Okay? And the last one here, letter C. This was going to be the line y equals e to the x plus 1. So e to the x just shifted up 1. and then negative x squared, which is a parabola pointed down, shifted up 3. And the juncture at 0. So this is y to e to the x. Now remember, e to the x looks like this, and we just shifted up 1. Remember, e to the 0, that should be plus 1 here. You can hardly see that, I'm sorry. That's plus 1. So this is e to the x plus 1. It kind of blocked in here. Hope you can see that. So this is y equals e to the x plus 1. And so remember, e to the 0 is 1, so it's shifted up, so it becomes 2 here. So this is y equals e to the x plus 1. And it's equal to that at x less than or equal to 0, so I have a point here. And then for x greater than 0, it's going to be this parabola, negative x squared. So this is my negative parabola, except it's shifted up 3. And again, I go over 1, down 1, over 2, down 4. And this is my negative x squared, but shifted up 3. And you see we have a jump discontinuity, so it's definitely discontinuous. Okay, so that's 1 and 2.